Sleepy Floyd in case
Yeah,
they
I forgot the
Sleepy.
And she's like, amen. I was like,
Well, Sleepy Floyd.
Yeah, Sleepy
Floyd.
Floyd.
Talking
knew
about
that.
I know. I just
We
was
just
like,
got
I
that
said Sleepy, and I was like, oh, I should have probably
we
said
were all
Floyd.
trying to figure out the information.
Isn't he one
Our
of the
researchers
dwarves?
got it for us.
Yeah,
Sleepy
he
and
looks like
Well,
Sleepy.
the next Grumpy Zach, Sleepy Floyd.
But there's no on
Oh, yeah,
time
on time.
dwarf. But
Yeah.
that's what Damian Lillard was, and this one, Richard, just the 7. Just leave.
She
You can
tried.
come back when you're ready to be with the adults. You know what I meant? The 7 dwarves. We're going to move on to the Indiana Pacers, Richard. We talked all season about how, for whatever reason, Indiana has had the Bucks number. Do you think now that you've seen this game 1, the Milwaukee Bucks can win without Giannis?
Oh, it ain't convincing me. It's convincing everybody else. I picked the Milwaukee Bucks to win this series solely because I've been saying that Damian Lillard is going to be the best player in the league. I mean, this series, I also was asking, when did the Indiana Pacers become the Denver Nuggets? Because that's how we was treating them for us in this series. When you look at the veterans that are on this team, when you look at Dame, you look at Bobby Portis, you look at Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, Patrick Beverly, Pat Connaughton. All these guys have been in the war, in the trenches, in the postseason. When you look at the Pacers side of things, we have some guys, majority of their roster, this is their first time in the postseason. So what are we really talking about? And when the playoffs start, everyone is 0-0. And to top it off, the Milwaukee Bucks have home court advantage. And if anything this past weekend should have tell us anything, home court means a lot. That's why every home court team won.
Huge win, buys Giannis a little time, buys the Bucks a little time. And after all that talk, after the great game ball dispute of 2023, the Milwaukee Bucks just came out and punched the Pacers in the face. And the Pacers look like a team that was making their postseason debut. And look, Tyrese Halliburton took 7 shots, was totally uninvolved in the game. The Pacers are dead on arrival if that's the Tyrese. Yeah. Whether Giannis plays or not, they are dead on arrival if that's the Tyrese Halliburton that they get for the rest of the series. And he could be and should be much more involved in that.
He was a little bit overwhelmed, right? Dame comes out firing. You're seeing this stuff. And look, Tyrese Halliburton is going to show up. That's the beautiful thing about the 7-game series is that you have a chance to show back up and answer. And there's one thing that I think we agree from the performance over the regular season with the Pacers team and this Bucks team. The Pacers team is going to show up. They believe that they can beat the Bucks team, and that's half the battle. Whether or not they will, we don't know, but they are going to show up. And I think that this series still goes 6 or 7.
Well, they started to show up a little bit in the second half, and so potentially that could be a preview as to what we see from the Pacers in Game 2. Dame Lillard scoring, it certainly had everybody talking, Janae, but I'm not sure anybody had more fun this weekend than Anthony Edwards.
Moment of the weekend. The video drawing back and forth with KD and Ant. I mean, I loved it. Now, we're talking about teams playing without their stars. We're giving a lot of kudos to Dame. Give kudos to this guy because he took every assignment, both defensive, getting steals early on in the game, but then also just his offense. He just felt like he wanted to make a statement. He did exactly that.
He said on NBA Today that he knows that going against Devin Booker, who is regarded as one of the best 2 guards in the league, he can prove that he can actually take that crown. And that's his personal GOAT, Kevin Durant, on the other side. He's cooking.
And that's what makes this so satisfying because you got the KD smiling at him. Watch this. Just tough handles, change of speed, left hand.
And he's like 6'4.5", doing that over 6'11", right? Just the bringing it back. Yes, look at that. The breaks, the going across 2 defenders. Woo! Wop.
And that was it for me. Pound the chest, talk your ish. Here for this because KD knows he helped build up a generation. This is his favorite player, and they're going down to the wire battling. Gotta love it.
The third quarter is really when he caught fire. One more time over Kevin Durant. Here's Zach.
Night. That's it. I mean, what a opening statement from the Timberwolves, who, were 0-3 against Phoenix in the regular season, and Rudy Gobert picking KD, and then bye-bye.
Can we give some love to Rudy Gobert?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's out here picking. People talk about most overrated. He's out here picking stuff.
Let's take a listen to Anthony Edwards. Oh, we're going to wait till we hear from Anthony Edwards. We thought we were, but we showed you so much goodness from him, then we'll just talk about him instead.
We heard a lot. We heard a lot from Anthony Edwards.
We heard a lot from him on the floor over the weekend. What did you see from him?
I'm going to be the nerd guy, okay? So, unbelievable. Talking trash, hitting threes. A little thing that I liked, even when he was in Inferno, even when he was single-handedly burying the Suns late in the third quarter, he's kept his teammates in mind. Just simple little passes. You're going to blitz me, Drew. You make sure you're going to put 2 on me. I'm just going to keep the machine moving. We're going to get great shots. Everyone's going to feel involved. That's a miss, but that's good offense. That's a healthy team. Same thing here. You're going to blitz me? Let me read the situation. Let me see what's going to. Here comes another guy. Boom, get off of it. And they continue to get good offense from there. Again, these are misses. I think Naz Reid misses. That's a great shot. And you know what? On a lot of these kinds of plays, the ball will come back to Anthony Edwards in better position than he gives it up. But this is just simple basketball. This is all from late in the third quarter when he's rolling. He could take hero shot after hero shot, and he didn't. And that is apex Anthony Edwards. That's an MVP candidate. That's a guy who can take this team a long, long way.
I am getting so happy because
Are ya?
You can tell, right? You talk about that being simple basketball. When we go into playoff series and we try to forecast who will win, the first question we say is who's going to be the best player on the floor. When it comes to Anthony Edwards, it might be the first time where I say I don't really care if he's the best player on the floor, because what does he bring? His competitiveness is contagious. He gives you moments. He inspires his teammates to play hard no matter what the score is and no matter what the situation. This is a star in our eyes, just continuing to grow in front of everyone, and he shows passion. We're talking about a weekend of blowouts. This was the highlight, and it wasn't necessarily his scoring. It was him playing with passion. To me, this is the face of the future of the NBA, and it's done in a healthy way. Yeah. You can talk your ish and you can back it up.
He's only 22. A certain player who is regarded as maybe one of the greatest to ever do it placed a phone call into the studio this weekend and said to the great Michael Wilbon, to the great Stephen A. Smith, you know what? I like this kid, and maybe some of the comparisons, they're not all that far off. What do you see in this, Perk?
Everything and more, 89 Mike, but it's his leadership for me, right? And can he be the best player in any series? Hell yeah, he can. Can he be the future face of the NBA? Hell yeah, he can. Some people got, in their feelings because I said I never played with a young leader like that. You brought up the word contagious. It is contagious. When you're watching his emotions, his intensity, his tenacity, and it rubs off on Karl Anthony Towns. When I'm watching him slide his puppies guarding Kevin Durant. When it rubs off on Rudy Gobert, and I'm watching him slide his puppies on Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is going to make tough shots. We get that. But the fact of the matter is they're putting forth the effort. Donovan Mitchell couldn't dig that out of Rudy. Jimmy Butler couldn't dig that out of Karl Anthony Towns. So when I see the energy that this young man is playing with, I mean, it's a perfect – people say they haven't been this relevant since Kevin Garnett. But guess what? The personalities match.
Well, they are on a collision course with the Denver Nuggets if they are, in fact, able to get out of this first round. And I have a feeling Kevin Durant may have a little something to say about that. Up next, we've got the very latest on Joel Embiid's health and why Perk spies a big problem with this version of the reigning MVP.